The following program is produced by students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
This week on Fast Track, we'll stop in the Study Abroad office to hear about the opportunities offered to students. We'll also visit the Purdue Archives and the Stewart Center to learn more about the resources they provide the community.
Later, we'll check in with the Purdue tennis team to see how they are preparing for the upcoming season. These stories and more are coming up on this week's edition of Fast Track.
Welcome to Fast Track. We're bringing you this week's show from the Purdue Memorial Union. I'm Don Kim.
And I'm Beth Stanley. In an increasingly global society, an international component is becoming an important part of a college education. Purdue University has 350 different study abroad programs in multiple countries around the world.
While studying abroad, students put to test the skills they have and acquire new ones. These skills help prepare students for the graduate school or the job market. Fast Track reporter Jeffree has a story.
Located in Young Hall is Purdue's Study Abroad office, which was last week home to student organisation Passport's first call-out for the semester.
The Passport Club was designed for exchange students and domestic students to get together and have a social club.
Throughout the semester, the Passport Club will plan events such as ice skating, hiking, canoeing, and meet and greets for both exchange students and domestic students to help them connect and get to know each other.
The idea is really to get exchange students and domestic students together, make new friends, and have some fun.
In general, the Study Abroad office helps prep students by holding pre-departure sessions before they go abroad and by holding intercultural sessions. As well as overseeing and administering the Study Abroad programs, some of the Study Abroad staff may also go abroad and lead certain programs.
When students come in undergraduates or graduates asking for general information, I'll sit down with them at a computer and walk them through the process of doing research and looking for a program and answering any questions they may have.
Purdue University is stepping up its efforts to encourage more students to study abroad, especially on programs of a semester in length. Studying abroad overseas allows college students to grow in maturity and independence, experience different cultures, and expand their knowledge of the world. For students worried about how they can afford to study abroad, they can apply for a scholarship and receive between $1,000 and $3,000.
I would encourage a student to study abroad because most college students don't. They graduate without having international experience, so it can really set them apart from the rest. And I always tell my students, because I teach comm classes, that if they don't study abroad by the time they graduate, then they've missed out on the college experience.
Purdue University also welcomes a variety of international students to its campus from all around the world who are participating in a study abroad program. The college campus sees students from Ireland, Switzerland, Australia, Singapore, and the list goes on.
I like traveling, and I thought like going abroad for one semester is like a good thing to discover new things.
For incoming exchange students to Purdue University's campus, it can be extremely exciting and daunting all at the same time. The exchange students have to learn to adapt to a new environment, culture, and make new friends.
Like the kind of campus, like it's what I imagine how a university is in America, like it's all together in one place, lots of students, lots of international people, that's what I love here.
For students thinking of studying abroad, Purdue's Study Abroad office contains detailed information about all of the study abroad programs offered by Purdue University. This has been Jeffree reporting for Fast Track.
Thanks, Scott. Over 160 Purdue students have joined the 3D Printing Club since its inception in 2013. The club allows its members to get a hands-on experience with the technology in three-dimensional printing.
Its focus is to help to fill the void within the School of Technology at Purdue, with an environment that gives students the real-world experience they need to stand out when looking for potential jobs. Fast Track reporter Samantha Batkin has more on the club.
Purdue's 3D Printing Club began in the fall of 2013 by a small group of technology students who shared a similar interest in rapid prototyping and the vast potential of 3D printing.
The Purdue 3D Printing Club is an environment where students can bring their projects to us and learn about 3D printing and how it can apply to industry practices.
The purpose of the organization is to promote and teach Purdue students about the concepts and practices of the relatively new manufacturing process called three-dimensional printing.
Hi, here we have a MakerBot Replicator 2. It's made by a company called MakerBot. And what it's doing right now, it's pulling this PLA plastic here, this filament, down through the extruder. And it's just like a hot glue gun where it heats it up to 230 degrees Celsius in this case, and deposits it layer by layer while it's slowly dropping down the plate as it builds up. Right now it's currently building a castle, and it takes about 45 minutes to make this right here.
By starting this club, they hope to teach members and learn from them skills that may help them become more competitive during any employment opportunity or future endeavor.
There are people in the club, maybe like 6 people, who got internships and jobs, including myself, within the 3D printing industry. And it's just, there's a huge gap right now where employers really want people who know how to use computer-aided design or how to use the 3D printer and what rapid prototyping even is. So we're pretty much just filling that void until the College of Engineering, College of Technology just fills that up and starts teaching people how to become more hands-on.
The club will offer to its members and all students education, hands-on experience, and workshop services to those interested in 3D printing and prototyping. With 160 members joining their club in the first year, President Ryan Kung has big plans for the future of the 3D printing club.
In 5 years, we'd hope that there's a class on campus that is already integrated within the College of Engineering or the College of Technology that does everything that we're trying to do for our student body.
For more information, visit the 3D Printing Club's Facebook and website. Reporting for FASTTRACK, I'm Samantha Batkin.
Thanks, Samantha. The club actually sent us our very own Block P to keep on the desk in the studio.
How long did it take to make?
About 45 minutes.
That's a lot for something this small. Coming up, meteorologist Bauer will have a look at the weather for this upcoming week.
We'll also take a trip to the Purdue Archives Library to check out their collection of artifacts.
Later, we'll take a closer look at how Purdue creates an inclusive environment for its diverse student body.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We are all Boilermakers, but we're also much more. We're history makers, exploring the farthest reaches of our universe, often when strapped to a rocket. We are hope makers, rebuilders of Haitian cityscapes who ensure they'll now withstand any disaster. We are difference makers, developers of drought-resistant crops that just might end world hunger. The fact is, what we make moves the world forward. We are Purdue, makers all.
I am an American.
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 That's the way most of us put it. Just matter of factly.
They're plain words, those 4. You could write them on your thumbnail
or sweep them across a bright autumn sky. But remember, too, that they are more than just words.
They are a way of life.
So whenever you speak them firmly.
Speak them proudly. Speak them gratefully. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am poised under pressure. I led Purdue to a come-from-behind victory in my first start. I am focused on the field and in class. I draw inspiration from the cradle of quarterbacks. I am Rob Henry, and I am a Boilermaker.
Well, it seemed like winter missed us until the snowstorm we had earlier this week.
Yeah, I guess we did get a few inches. Joseph's back in the studio with a look at what we can expect for this upcoming week.
Thanks, guys. We're here at the Purdue Weather Lab. We've been talking a lot of snow over the past week, and just yesterday for the Ohio State game, Purdue won. But we also got some snow, 6 inches just to the north of Tippecanoe County, 2 inches here at Purdue. And so we've certainly just been talking a lot about the snow over the past week. And the temperatures would indicate that as well as just this morning. If you're out and about early, 0 degrees this morning, and temperatures all across the area currently below freezing, and it's just really dry, frigid air out there. And we're going to see that stick around at least until this weekend. If we look at a surface analysis map, high pressure is shifting to our east, and you can see as air moves clockwise around high pressure here. So we're going to be seeing winds coming back from the south starting this weekend, and so that'll bring us some warming temperatures coming for Saturday and into Sunday. And so let's take a look here at your night planner. For 7 p.m., we're going to be starting off not too bad. Just be sure to have some coats available. It'll be cloudy and 30 and 28 if you're by the time you're waking up early in the morning on Saturday, if you want to do that. And just moving into the weekend here, Saturday, Sunday, chance of rain late on Sunday, but really warm conditions here with upper 40s. All right, Don and Beth, back to you.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll check back in with you later. The Purdue Archive's goal is to preserve history and make available research records and papers that were created or received by the university and its employees.
The Archives and Special Collections Research Center holds exhibits year-round and have artifacts from Purdue alumni, including Amelia Earhart and Neil Armstrong. Fast Track reporter Ericka Lewin has more.
The Virginia Kelly Carnes Archives and Special Collections Research Center is located on the 4th floor of the Humanities, Social Science, and Education Library in the Stewart Center. The exhibits in the library archives highlight the different moments of Purdue history.
So the exhibit we have out today, and it's been up since September, it'll be up through February 27th, is called Steps to the Moon, selections from the Neil Armstrong papers and the Eugene Cernan papers. And of course, Neil Armstrong was the first person to walk on the moon, and Eugene Cernan, another Purdue alum, was the last person to walk on the moon. So what we have on display are selections from each of their papers, and they've both donated their archival materials to Purdue University. Here at the University Archives and Special Collections, we have the primary source materials, the unique materials that document the history of Purdue University, but also the history of its famous alum. So we have the papers of Neil Armstrong, which is what the collection here is today.
The Archives Library is not well known among students. The artifacts in the library not only provide a unique research opportunity, but also offers a fun way for students to get to know the history of their school.
For students who don't know about the archives, this exhibit, because I'm the flight archivist, I would say this exhibit is a really cool one to come and see what archives really are about, because it's about our astronauts, it's about Neil Armstrong. But what's really exciting about these kinds of collections, these primary sources, is that, you'd be looking at, we have Neil Armstrong's acceptance letter to NASA. That's the letter in the case. So it's really cool. And we have a set of maps that Captain Cernan carried on the moon when he was on the moon, and that's in the case over there. But you also see their Purdue notebooks. So we have Mr. Armstrong's calculus notebook when he was a freshman or sophomore, I can't remember. And we also have some of Mr. Cernan's notebooks from when he was a student here at Purdue. So these kinds of materials, you think of these people sometimes as giants, but they're real people, and they were here at Purdue doing some of the same work that students are doing today. So it's really kind of a cool thing. And so we have 450 boxes, archival boxes, from his house of his materials. And Captain Cernan has also donated his papers from when he was an Apollo astronaut and throughout his life. But everyone, we have 5 or 6 archivists, and we're really happy, especially to work with students, kind of help them discover the materials in the collections, because a lot of times you might be the first person ever to look at a group of papers, and so your research paper would be, unique. It's just like, doing real scholarship, because it is. So it's kind of cool.
The library archives are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4:30 and is free and open to the public. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Ericka Lewin.
Thanks, Ericka. Well, it looks like Purdue has a hidden gem on campus.
Yeah, they really have a neat collection up there. Home to nearly 40,000 students from over 120 different countries around the world, Purdue remains as one of the most diverse universities.
But how well does Purdue do in creating an inclusive learning environment for the diverse student body? The LGBTQ community feels that diversity is not just about race or ethnicity. My partner Don has more on the story.
I do think I am a minority. I am underrepresented on campus. I feel like I'm a minority on campus in that I am a gay man.
As a gay man, I do know that I am a minority compared to most people on campus.
As a global university, Purdue is very diverse. However, there is a distinction between diversity and inclusion. While diversity may refer to the demographics of a community, inclusion refers to the actions.
Inclusion tends to be more along the lines of how people feel once they're here. If they feel that they're a part of the institution, if they see themselves in the curriculum, in the co-curricular, active daily life of Purdue University.
Purdue prides itself on being a diverse community and works to create a welcoming environment. Educational lecture series, community outreach, and partnerships with various organizations are just a few ways the university works to engage these members of the community.
We are one of very few institutions in the United States that have dedicated resources for the LGBTQ community, and so letting high school students know that this is a campus that is working on the inclusion aspect, not just the diversity aspect, is very important.
Even among the minority groups, the LGBTQ members still struggle to express their identity, mainly because of the lack of a definitive visible characteristic.
Different types of minorities, some identities are visible differences, physical characteristics that are different, whereas like just looking at me, most people wouldn't assume that I was a gay man. I'm just some white guy.
Being a part of such a diverse community can often make it more difficult for students to feel included.
It might be difficult for people to participate in that work. There are social consequences.
It's difficult going to events on campus like football games with your significant other when you have to be in a conservative crowd and hold hands with them or sit next to them kind of close. It's a bit intimidating, to say the least.
Purdue offers a variety of resources like the Community Center, Safe Zone program, and study abroad opportunities. However, these students feel that there are other areas that still need to be addressed.
Purdue needs to be a little bit more inclusive for our trans population. I think that there needs to be a bit more education for the staff on who trans people are and what that entails.
A collaborative effort between the university and the students is a key factor in creating a diverse yet inclusive community.
We also rely on the students to be ambassadors, to be participants in transforming Purdue.
Ultimately, students need to voice their complaints. If there's an issue, administration can't fix it if they don't know there's a problem, which is why I think it's highly important that students report any hate and bias to the Purdue Hate and Bias website.
Purdue looks to continue to improve and progress.
We're getting there. We're getting to a different place with Purdue. And there's a lot more we could do to see true transformation here. And I look forward to seeing where our students can push us to do better.
Reporting from Fast Track, I'm Don Kim. After the break, we'll head to the Schwartz Tennis Center to see how the men's tennis team is doing so far this season.
We'll also stop into the Robert L. Ringel Art Gallery to check out the newest exhibit, Ericka. Stay tuned.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We are all Boilermakers, but we're also much more. We're history makers, exploring the farthest reaches of our universe, often when strapped to a rocket. We are hope makers, rebuilders of Haitian cityscapes who ensure they'll now withstand any disaster. We are difference makers, developers of drought-resistant crops that just might end world hunger. The fact is, what we make moves the world forward. We are Purdue, makers all.
I am an American.
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 That's the way most of us put it. Just matter of factly.
They're plain words, those four. You could write them on your thumbnail
or sweep them across a bright autumn sky. But remember, too, that they are more than just words.
They are a way of life.
So whenever you speak them firmly.
Speak them proudly. Speak them gratefully. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
That we do, and we try and
And you, yeah, you. Have you ever dreamed of being on TV? Well, in the Brian Lamb School of Communication, we do more than that. You can learn about camera operation, lighting techniques, live TV shows, real client PSAs, weekly news productions, and more. For more information about the video production programs, visit our website or the advising office.
The Purdue men's tennis team is young but full of talent. After losing many of their starters for the past 2 years, a new wave of players has stepped up to lead the team for the upcoming season.
The team is looking to make it 2 years in a row with a winning record in the Big Ten, while also trying to increase their national ranking. Fast Track reporter Ethan Carlson visited the Schroeder Center to bring you an inside look.
The Purdue men's tennis team had their first matches of the season on January 19th, with a 6-1 win against Eastern Illinois and another 6-1 win against IUPUI. Head coach Pavel Gajcek liked a lot of what he saw from his team.
We have first 2 matches of our season, so definitely we are very rusty coming out, but what we saw was the grit and determination to win. We had a very young bottom of the lineup with our players, and it was great to see their determination to win the points and finally come for us through with big wins in the position that they were in.
Last season, they finished with a 15-8 overall record and a 7-5 record in the Big Ten, which was the first winning record the team has had in the Big Ten since Gajcek took over in 2009. Unfortunately, many players from that winning team graduated after the season.
We did lose almost 5 players in the last 2 years from the starting lineup. We have 3 last year, which were pretty much pillars of our team. So like I said, we're going to bring a lot of youth, a lot of inexperience, but also a lot of talent to the Big Ten.
One such talented player is the 84th ranked player in the country, sophomore Ricky Medinilla, who won all of his matches on the day.
I think the first match is always really tough. We're all a little rusty. We haven't played like for almost six months, I think, since the last season. So always the first match is pretty tough, but I think we made a pretty good job with that. We got the 2 wins, so that's good.
The number 3 singles player on the team, junior Mateus Silva, was also successful in each of his matches.
I thought they were a good beginning for the season. Like, we have a young team, like no experience, so I thought it was good, like 2 wins. I thought like the team was good, like everyone put a lot of effort. Like we had a guy on the team that was injured, like he was injured on the arm, like he played through it. It was a good match, I think. Like especially the second one, like we were a little bit tired second of the day.
Every player on the team has goals they want their team to achieve throughout the upcoming season, as well as individual goals in their pursuit of becoming better players.
Bottom line for the team goal is to make NCAAs, and once we're there, well, we believe anything can happen, but once we're there, we want to make Sweet 16. Individually, I want to make the NCAA tournament. I'm not that far. I'm like 20 spots away, so that's my goal for this season.
Our team goal was to make the NCAAs. Like since we have a young team, like that was our goal, like the main goal. My individual goal is to be ranked. Like last year, like I was like 1 game away from being ranked, so like this year I expect to be.
Well, obviously our main goal is to come back and do be participating in the NCAAs. We do want to come back and play kickoff weekend next year, which is the NCAA Indoor Championships unofficial, which will give us a great opportunity to compete against some of the best teams in the nation. Positive record in the Big Ten is always a plus, but climb the rankings. And if this is the season that we're kind of rebuilding, we want to stay in the rankings and improve as much as we possibly can on the court.
Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Ethan Carlson.
Thanks, Ethan. We wish the team luck this season.
Purdue Convocations has brought a 1970s art exhibit to campus called Documerica. The environmental concern and cultural historical value that Documerica carries is still shocking to today's society.
Convos collaborated with the College of Science and Engineering to set up several other professional lectures to connect the art with real-world problems. Fast Track reporter Sunny Wu has more on the story.
Back to 1971, the newly created EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, commissioned a 5-year project called Docu-America. This project set 70 photographers across the United States to document subjects of environmental concern. 40 years later, the cooperation between the Purdue Congregations and Robert L. Ringo Gallery brought this project to the Purdue campus to show this modern portrait of American soul in the 1970s. The visions of rugged nature beauty, machines of industry, candid snapshots of everyday life, and images of distressed community were all captured on film with eco-photographic fitness. The Docu-American photo exhibition in Ringo Gallery starts from January 12th to February 21st. On January 22nd, an opening reception was held in the gallery with comments from Toddy Vazel, the director of Purdue Congregations, the person who brought this project to Purdue.
When I heard about this particular project, it struck a chord with me because as I learned about the Docu-America project that was created by the EPA, which I had not been familiar with, and I think the vast majority of Americans aren't even aware that this incredibly deep and broad document of American life in the 70s even existed. So it was on the anniversary of that in early 2012 when this anniversary of Docu-America came to be. And so that was what inspired Ethel, the string quartet, to create a new work that incorporated these images. And so there's two things happening. There's Docu-America, the photo collection that started in the 70s, and then there's the performance of the same name, Ethel's Docu-America.
Right after the exhibition, Craig Martin, the director of Purdue University Galleries, showed some of his favorite photos and interpreted them from an artistic perspective.
It was sort of a realization, and everybody was sort of coming into their own as both individually and as a culture, and that the 60s were a great period of of awakening and change. And into the 70s was sort of this momentum of still more change, but investigation and exploring and trying to try new things and be different and do something out of the ordinary, and then re-examining what we had done.
Followed by the gallery exhibition, the Ethel's Docu-American performance was held on January 24th in Loeb Playhouse. Ethel's Docu-America is a multimedia performance which was inspired by the imagery of Project Docu-America. It combines the instrumental performance and the exhibition of photographs. It brought its visuals, audio, and emotional impact into dialogue with the 21st century. This huge cooperation not only included the College of Liberal Arts and Purdue Congregations, but also had huge support from the College of Engineering and the College of Science. During the pre- and post-show sections, several engineering and science professors spoke about their professional opinions and concerns regarding to the environmental protection, which related to the Docu-America. Reported for Fast Track, I'm Sunny Wu.
Thanks, Sunny.
We're going to head back to the studio for a final update on this week's weather forecast. Joseph?
Thanks, Beth. Welcome back here. I was talking earlier about your weekend forecast. I've got going into next week. What's your forecast going to look like? It's a lot of dry weather here. I got a model run up for you here. We're starting it off at Sunday at 8 p.m. and we're seeing here some showers popping up here right on Wednesday. Here is what we're looking at, and that's our next chance of precipitation, and really our only chance of precipitation moving in to this week. And so let's go with your 7-day here. On Monday, looking for 28 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions, just with that system exiting on Sunday. Tuesday, 39. It'll be a good day to be out and about, but just make sure to still be bundling up and whatnot. For Wednesday and Thursday here, and even into the end of the week, we're looking at a big cool down with that system coming in. Yeah, we'll have to keep track on that. It'll be just like last week. Don and Beth, back to you.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of Fast Track. I'm Don Kim.
And I'm Beth Stanley. Join us again next week as we take you through more stories around Purdue's campus.